All right, we live. Welcome everybody. GMS Podcast, please, episode 11. Episode 11. I always got to check because I don't be remembering shit. Today we got a guest from a long while away. We got our boy David Cole is back.
Back by no popular demand.
Popular demand. Need him to come here and talk about some white things for us.
Thought that's why we had you here.
Oh man, I done messed up the sheet. Damn.
Killing it.
We got Yomi coming back. So we got a full crew today. A couple people ain't making it. A couple people is making it. We should have a good show for you today. What we're gonna start off with, and I'm sorry, I'm just getting everything lined up over here. Trying to make sure that sound is good. One of y'all say something.
Yo.
All right, we good. All right. So today, we're going to start off with the best news that's come out of the NBA since Jordan winning his final ring in 98.
Yawn. Oh, you talk Pat Bev to the Bulls, baby.
We can start with that, though.
Just like that became the best player in Bulls franchise history.
You got the quietest player and you got the loudest player on the same team now. You got Caruso and everyone on the Bulls.
Yeah. So we can start with Pat Bev. Pat Bev to the Bulls. Pat Bev to the Bulls. What do y'all see him being able to contribute to the Bulls?
I think we all know. Defense and hustle and maybe some
attitude, getting the heads of the other team.
And technical fouls.
Some point guard play that they missing because Alonzo being gone.
Speaking of Lonzo, is Zoe ever going to come back, man? You think he ever going to come back healthy?
I hope so. He's on my goddamn fantasy team.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and cut him because they don't even know when he's coming back.
That's
if he's
facts.
coming back at all.
They said that it's getting worse. I don't know how a knee injury can get worse with rest. I've never heard of that.
Oh, because like when I had my bucket hinge tear, they told me to start walking on it as soon as I could walk. As soon as I could feel comfortable to walk, they were like, if it's tomorrow, do it. So like there are some knee injuries where if you don't immediately exercise it, you actually can make it worse.
Damn.
Yeah, you gotta think. He's been playing nonstop basketball his whole life. Resting is something that his body don't know.
That's facts. That's a
he
fact.
He probably still eats like he's fucking, like he's playing. You know what I mean? Like probably the amount of fucking food you have to eat just to maintain a like professional athletic body.
Yeah, but I've seen him on the sidelines and getting up and walking when I've watched Bull games. And look like the same Lonzo. So I feel
that's the thing about knee injuries. It depends on the angle, of what kind of tear you have, because like you could be literally walking around straight up and down, be fine, and then walk up a stair, and literally you can't do it. Like it depends.
You see players tear their ACL and they don't even know it until they get back there and have it examined.
That's
you
facts.
walk off just fine. But
injuries are something else, especially knee injuries.
Yeah,
they're a bitch.
Mm-hmm. I know all about them. My fucking knees are bad right now.
Man, dude, I did so many sports where I should have had knee injuries, and then I literally crossed my legs while sitting down a few years ago, and my fucking bucket hinge tear just gave out completely. My knee just went. Like, there's a lot of times when that should have happened, but like sitting down and crossing my legs, basically, I got an injury from doing yoga. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, well, that'll teach you about crossing your legs.
You got to stretch a little bit before you cross the legs.
That's what I was doing.
You know,
You waited a little bit too long.
Yeah, you got to remember your age too, man. You in your 40s, so.
This was
You gotta-
why? Because I'm your dad. Is that why I'm in my 40s?
You gotta stretch before you stretch. That's what got
Mhm.
you.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I learned. You know, if you stretch
Yeah.
before you stretch, then there'll be no issues while you stretch.
Or you just gotta like go to the doctor when your knee feels like it's popping out of place every day for 3 years, and you're like, it's probably fine. Like, that might have been part of it. That might have been a contributing factor.
I think so.
My doctor literally called me a fucking idiot, like verbatim. They were like, "So you've had it feel like it pops out, and then you have to crack it back every day for over years." And I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "You're a fucking idiot." I was like, "Cool."
I think
Thank
any
you.
doctor probably would call you that.
Yeah, hey, she's #1 orthopedic surgeon in America, UW Sports Medicine, and she did a great job. But call me a fucking idiot. And that wasn't cool. Hurt my feelers.
Damn. You know, so the topic of Pat Bev is just a quick one. There's not much you really got to talk about when it comes to Pat Bev. So you're gonna get a lot of talking, and you know
He might be able to light that fire underneath Zach LaVine. What the Bulls been missing.
somebody got to do something with Zach LaVine though. Let's go back to the Bulls and not making a move during the trade deadline. What was the point of that?
I think the big thing was not wanting to pick up any more big contracts, and then also seeing what was there in the buyout market.
And
I mean-
the biggest splash they've been able to make in the buyout market has been Patrick Beverley.
Do you think though that maybe they're holding out for like a big contract draft, like next year, like
To be
to have the
honest,
cap?
man, Vooch and Levine would have gotten traded. Especially
I think just
Vooch.
I think just Vooch. I think you keep LaVine.
But how many assets can you get for Zach LaVine though? Like
I don't think
The
it's
Ja-
a ton. I think it's a player for player straight up.
the Jazz traded Rudy Gobert for 5 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, but as the Bulls, you would want a player back, unless you're completely like restarting.
But you can get a player and still get draft picks though. That's the thing. Like you can get assets for a player on top of a player.
But you got to
Right, but-
think. You got to think. A team that's going to trade 5 first-round draft picks aren't also going to give you an outstanding player.
I wouldn't
Exactly. They're going to give you a 6-man at best.
I wouldn't have asked for 5 first-round draft picks for Zach LaVine. I would think that he'd be a respectful 3, but you could have
Mikal
still
Bridges
gotten.
had Memphis offered 4 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah,
So what's the difference between a protected and unprotected draft pick?
protected draft picks. You get to protect them up to a certain amount of number. So say that it's protected 1 through 4. If
Right.
that draft pick turns into a 1 through a 4th pick, you keep the pick. If it's outside of those numbers, they get the pick.
Oh, I got it, because we don't know exactly who's going to be drafting when until the fucking
Exactly.
lottery. Got you.
Until the
Yeah, okay.
lottery.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can get Mikal Bridges, and who are they trading for him though? Like they had to have been giving up some type of player.
Memphis, they just threw 4 first-round picks to Brooklyn. After Brooklyn got him, it was just trying to get him.
That's
Right
crazy.
after that.
By the way, what is happening in Brooklyn with the mass exodus and shit? Like, is Brooklyn just giving up? Like, what are they?
I don't think they are, and I don't think they should. They got a team that could actually make the playoffs.
Fair enough.
That's what I think. Like you got a bunch of talent on the team.
But do you do that and have a terrible ass pick just because you wanted to make the playoffs and lose in round 1?
Okay. Now, picture making the playoffs. And who's an upcoming free agent though?
Nobody joins the playoffs to aim to lose, like thinking they're going to lose. Like if you get in the playoffs, you think you have a chance. So, I mean, it makes sense that they would,
I mean, as a player, you're not gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna get swept."
I
But
mean,
you know,
not externally, anyways, not to the media.
But
you know what's gonna happen when you get to the playoffs. You know certain matchups happen.
Yeah.
That's why, like some teams, if they have older players, they just want to play the best team just to get it over with. Like if we're gonna beat them, we're gonna beat them, but we're not gonna wait until the conference finals.
when they all in the mood and shit,
Yeah.
they all doing their thing, man.
Yep.
And I was gonna say, like, just picture, in 2023 at the end of the year, it's make the playoffs, first round exit. Say that happens, but say if there was a big player in free agency that could have been like a splash player, it was like, man, they got everything together. All they need is the star. Why wouldn't you put your best effort out to try and be good and show other players and organizations what you can do?
Are you talking about just for as in Brooklyn situation?
Brooklyn situation. Because even if
the shitty situation with Brooklyn is the best two players are former Brooklyn players.
Yeah.
With it being Kyrie and James Harden as free agents after the season.
But that's the thing. You don't even need to think about free agency because you have so many assets when it comes to draft picks that you could trade for a person. You can trade for a star.
Yeah, but
how's
then
the
it
draft
doesn't
class
matter.
looking? Like, how's the draft class looking for next year's draft? Like, is there anybody really super, like, I mean, is there anybody? Is there a big draw?
Are you saying in this upcoming draft?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one.
There's like.
I'd say overall, I was gonna say it's real top heavy. I'd say top 8 to 10 is it, and then after that, it's like you might as well go drafting some people from the local gym.
I think it's just for me. It's just top 2. Top 2 is like franchise changers. Could be. I wouldn't say could be.
Yeah, because I remember seeing big 7-5 players, supposed to be all that, but really turned out to not be all that.
What place was Giannis drafted?
He was number 14.
Yeah.
See, there you go. Like, it's not. That's the thing about drafts, though, is that, like you were just saying, it could always be a bust, and so you really got to weigh that. Like, I guess you don't draft somebody if you think they're going to be a bust, but.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. Is not too many teams are going to draft a player and expect them not to be good, Like, you're going to draft them thinking and knowing that you want them to be what you vision them being.
Like Tyler Hero. Nobody should have drafted Tyler Hero, but look.
I knew he was going to be a bucket.
I get buckets.
I mean, after you've seen Devin Booker take that jump, it's like, why not? Not saying that Tyler Hero is ever going to be that player, but Devin Booker was never supposed to be that player.
Why? Because he was too small? Like, why wasn't he, like...
Booker wasn't even starting on the Kentucky team that he played on.
He was not. He was off the bench.
Dang. He just... What? How did he get... Okay.
They were just stacked, and he was a bucket when you can come into the game and be instant offense. Like, he was somewhat like Tyler Hero at Kentucky, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing about college is coming into the NBA is hard for players to get used to that 3-point line. But if you can already knock it down in college, that just improves your stock that much better.
Yep, especially when the league is shifted to being big time 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
Well, that's thanks to Steph Curry. I mean, literally, like the Warriors 3 game changed the fucking NBA style of play. Like, you have to be like centers have to almost be like 3-and-D now.
It was before Steph, though.
You think? Okay.
I mean, you got to think about.
Clay broke the record, and then he broke the record, didn't he?
You got to think about what I'm saying as far as like stretch bigs and stuff like that. You got to think about like Bosh,
Porzingis.
Well, I was just saying, like, before like the Warriors became what they are. But even the Warriors, like, they didn't have a stretch 5. Like they played bogus.
No. Oh, my comment on that was that like their ability to shoot the three made other teams have to be able to shoot the three. I wasn't saying they had like a stretch five.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying, and because of that, now stretch five is much more of a priority, is what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, but still, to the point, like you look at the Celtics, they shot a fuck ton of threes with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, guys off the bench. Then that Miami team literally had some of the best shooters.
Mike Miller.
Yeah, Mike Miller with one
Ray
shoe
Allen,
on. Shane Battier.
Mario.
Yeah.
That team was a fucking cheat code.
On 2K for sure.
Nigga, I would get so pissed playing the motherfucker that had picked the Heat in 2K.
Well, the only thing that you could do is early on if you pick the Lakers.
Kobe.
Because they had Kobe, Nash, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
Before Dwight became like a 82 overall.
Man.
Yeah, that's gotta be tough. You know your career's starting to go when like you see your 2K rating. That's fuck with you, right? To like be rated on a video game and like see yourself slowly declining over the years. That's gotta be tough.
Did you guys hear about when Kobe got the call about Dwight?
No.
Supposedly he talked to him right before like when the trade happened. And somebody I guess was sitting next to him, like a reporter or something. And he was talking to Dwight, and he was like, we got to do this, we got to do this. And he said Dwight just sounded way too like unsure. He was, and as soon as he hung up the phone, he was like, "This isn't gonna work."
Damn.
Kobe always knew what the fuck was going on, man.
Well, Dwight,
Well, you knew that when
he lived that party lifestyle.
And I'm still.
Yeah, he wasn't shooting 10,000 shots. Like, what is it? Every day Kobe was doing that shit or something like that? Like,
yeah,
well, nobody would ever have the work ethic that Kobe had.
Not a chance.
That shit is just unmatched.
Yeah.
And y'all see Dwight averaging 85 points a game in Taiwan?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's kind of like being in the NBA and then going to play like high school basketball.
Shooting 65% from the 3-point line.
Dang it.
Yeah.
That's like a cheat. Well, that's because nobody's tall enough to fucking get up and block.
They got some tall people over there.
No, I know.
I think. Well, I saw a video of them playing a dude that was like 7'4" or some shit. Dude looked like he wore like 350 pounds.
I will say, all things being equal between two centers, if one of them had played time in the Chinese NBA, like, you might want to take that dude, because apparently the Chinese NBA is like, you can punch people in the face in the paint like it was the 80s. Like, so, there's a certain toughness level I feel like that can come from playing foreign basketball.
This fucking tattoo is so damn itchy,
You got my name again?
This dude, wow. Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to get this fucking sleeve finished, man, and
I feel you.
Shit itching. But yeah, man. Pat Bev, Bull. Now to the real news. My boy Russell Westbrook on his way to the Clips, staying put in LA, away from them weak ass Lakers. Now,
my fault. I fell asleep for a minute.
we had a little discussion about this on the last podcast. It was like a couple Fridays ago. It was a trade deadline. The day after the trade deadline. And we knew that West was going to go to the Clippers, but we said what would be the actual best fit. And I said the Heat, but I knew he was going to go to the Clippers. What dynamic and feel of the game and what is Russ going to be able to bring to the game to help the Clips get over the hump?
As far as just like getting to where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like taking some of the focus so their other players can like get shots because they're worried about Westbrook.
I think as far as like him going to the team, like that's not the players off the bench or the supporting cast around PG and Kawhi have never been in question. Health has been their question for the longest. The only thing that you add with Russ is that he doesn't miss games, but
And he
still,
gets people open. He's a facilitator.
but you got to think if you don't have Kawhi and PG is hurt from time to time, it doesn't matter who you bring in as far as like coming off the bench and stuff.
He's not
'Cause
coming
what
off the bench though. He's starting.
you think over Terrence Mann?
He's starting.
I think he accepted that role off the bench. I
Really?
think him and Eric Gordon are nice off the bench.
Nah, he's
Like,
starting.
with PG and them, he's never gonna have the ball. If
But that's
Kawhi
the
and PG
thing.
are starting, he's
What,
never gonna have the
what makes
ball.
you think that he wouldn't have the ball?
Why would he?
Didn't he have the ball in OKC?
Not as much as PG.
Stop it.
Come on,
He
dog.
averaged a triple double.
Yeah, because when PG subs out the game, the only other player on their team was
Oh man,
Russ.
you one of these people that will do anything to make Russ seem like he does not control the tempo of the game, bro. I hate when people do that. You
What do you
can't
mean
tell me
control
the
the-
starting point guard, especially with it being Russ, is not bringing the ball up the court and controlling the flow of the game. It's Russ. It's always been Russ.
You
And
can
O-
bring the
and
ball
OKC.
across the. You can
In-
bring
in
the ball
Washington.
across half
It was
time.
in Houston.
Listen.
It
You
was
can bring
always
that bitch
Russ.
across half court as much as you want, but you're not. As soon as you pass that ball, you're going to the corner, and you are going to be a catch and shoot player. You're not.
Well, you can
running
also finish the oop from the corner too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
you know.
there you go.
You're not running pick and roll with Russ and Zubac.
Why not?
They don't run pick and roll with Zubac
Why not though? Why not change it?
because they don't. Zubac isn't that type of player.
Okay. So what type of player is he? Because in most
He just
instances
a
that I've seen him
defensive-
playing, he's pretty good on the pick and roll.
No, he's just a defensive player that's good at rebounding and getting those little points in the paint off the offensive rebounds. He's their cleanup guy.
You know, at some point, y'all gotta give respect to Russ. You gotta give Russ the respect that
Oh, I
he's due,
forgot
man.
about you and Russ.
You got
I
to.
heard the speech before.
Everyone tries to diminish what he does.
You do know that Russ is listed as a top 75 player ever, right?
Yep, and
So that's not
Y'all
his
don't act that
flowers
way.
right there. That's
No,
not
that's
his
not his
flowers right
flowers.
there.
you want to know
And who
that's a
who has ever
backhanded
argued
compliment.
about that?
Oh
Who has
my
ever
God.
argued about that?
Who's argued that?
Yeah.
Do you? I know you listen to sports commentators.
I actually, surprisingly,
I mean,
I don't watch it.
You know somebody.
Your
that-
love of Russell Westbrook is not a hot take, bro. Like it's. I'm just
I
saying.
really don't
love
watch
of Russ. No,
Yeah, I mean-
I just feel like players deserve the respect that they're due. Players that are not entirely the issue should not get talked to and treated as if they are the issue. That's the thing for me. Everyone knows that my favorite player in the NBA ain't Russ. It's not.
Could have fooled me.
I fuck with Russ, but he's not my favorite player.
Who's your favorite player?
My favorite player is Lonzo. Lonzo hasn't been playing, so the player that takes his place at the moment is Josh Giddey. Those are my favorite players. But Russ, he's up there, but there has to be some line of respect that's shown, man. Like, no one's respecting him. They disrespect him. They call him out his name. Skip Bayless, old wrinkly ass, always talking shit about him. It's like it's more about respecting the legacy of the person that everyone's disrespecting for no reason. Like, everything getting placed at his feet and like it was his issue. People saying all this shit since he got traded. Like,
But
it's
that's
just
what
kinda
happens when
ridiculous,
you're held in such high esteem. When shit doesn't work out, everyone's like, "Well, aren't you used to the shit? Aren't you
Okay.
supposed to be the man?"
And who put
Like,
that?
so you're gonna catch the flack for
Who
it.
put that team together?
You have expectations.
No,
when
no, no, no,
you're-
no, no. We're not about to do this. No, I'm asking a question. Who put the team together?
I don't
What do
know.
you mean?
LeBron put the team together.
LeBron did.
Okay.
LeBron
did.
put the Lakers together.
LeBron put that team together. He
He
wanted
put
AD.
that. He put that team together.
He wanted AD. He wanted Russ.
You know, as much
Anything-
as somebody wants somebody, it's up to the GM to make that decision.
I don't know, man. If you're
Chris, stop
LeBron
it.
James, man.
How many times has
Chris,
LeBron tried to?
stop
How many
it.
times has LeBron came out and said that they need to trade both those picks? And have they?
Chris, LeBron's whole career has been based on putting teams together.
No.
I don't give a fuck if they have not traded those picks right now because those picks should not have been traded. LeBron put the team together.
If LeBron was putting the team together, those picks would have been traded.
Just like everything else has been traded because of LeBron. That's why we have no assets. So why would you trade your assets that you have left for your team after the person you allowed to destroy every asset you had has less than 2 years? Yes, everything's gone. Everything. Every player that was an asset, every draft pick that was an asset. Just because you trade,
the Lakers would still be a laughing stock if we still had all those young players that eventually would have moved on themselves.
Just stop
right?
it. Just stop it. Because all those players that you had, even with you saying they would have left, you could have traded them for more assets. It's not about them leaving.
You're just trading young players for young players. That doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Because why are you trading young players to get younger players?
So why are the Bears talking about trading Justin Fields to get?
Because the Bears are shit. Because the Bears are shit.
No, the Lakers are shit too.
Are they?
They are.
How many games out of the playoffs are they right now?
I don't care about. See that's what y'all do. Y'all try so hard to.
The Lakers are six games
out of the six seed. Dude, I already know
not
this
even
shit.
the 6th seed.
Well, they're 3 out of the 6 seed.
They're 6 games out of the 2nd seed.
I don't give a damn. They're still in 13th place.
God damn, you act like the Lakers
13th place.
And you know where they would be at if they kept all those young players?
You don't know.
They would be looking to draft Victor.
Because if we're looking at, if you look at all the players that the Lakers had,
they would be in competition with the Houston Rockets as the worst team.
No, you're just talking right now. You're just saying anything.
What do you mean?
You're just saying anything to make LeBron seem like LeBron is doing all this and that and this, man.
Who should the Lakers have kept?
They should have kept everyone.
You wanted the Lakers to pay Julius Randle?
LeBron shouldn't have been.
Question.
Hold on. The last podcast I was on, I remember you talking about you defending them keeping all the old players on the Lakers because we got in an argument about it.
Yes, so all the old players that had already gotten traded for. What am I gonna say? We keep the old players because we traded the.
You playing both sides?
No. We traded every asset. Why would we then release everyone we just won a championship with? It makes no sense. And Tyrone, man, you got Discord? You can jump in if you want, man. Jump in and hop into Discord, my brother.
Let me ask you this.
So if we look at it, if we look at it, let me tell you.
Hold on. Let me ask you this.
What?
You wanted them to pay Julius Randle all that money that he wanted?
Who, Julius Randle?
Julius Randle was one of the people that they lost.
Why not? He didn't get a max from
why not?
He ain't get a max from New Orleans.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? His team's in 6th place right now.
Wanted the Lakers.
They've won more games than the Lakers.
You would want the Lakers to repay Lonzo right now?
See, Lonzo's a different story. He's injured.
Lonzo's
But
a
you're-
different story because he's injured.
Yeah, but you're paying
But
AD
you would
right
have
now.
had to
Stop.
You
You're
would have
paying
had to make
AD,
that
right?
decision.
You're
You would have
paying
had to make
AD,
that
right?
decision.
You're
You
paying
would have had
AD,
to make
right?
that
You're not going to
decision.
answer the question.
Am I paying AD?
You're paying
Yes,
AD
I'm
right
paying,
now.
I'm
Perfect.
paying AD
That
because he's
squashes
a
that
top
one.
5 player
200
when he's
players.
healthy.
It don't matter. You're not paying
When he's
Lonzo.
healthy,
You're
when
not
he's healthy,
You're not
the
paying
difference of
Lonzo.
paying Lonzo when he's hurt
You're
and paying
not
AD when he's hurt is way
paying.
different.
You're not
You're not paying Lonzo to be
a max contract, so it doesn't matter, bro. He's
What is he
not a
making?
max player.
What is he
He
making?
just got a 4-year
More
$80
than we're ever
million
gonna
deal from Chicago. That's not max. That's $20
What's
million
he
a year.
making, though?
It's an average salary.
And you
20
can
mil.
get that. You can get what Lonzo gives then with any other point guard in the league.
Nope. So
No.
as
No.
y'all
Why the
always do,
Pelicans
y'all,
they keep him?
y'all try so hard to not stick on track. Y'all try and continuously because
We're talking about the players that the Lakers gave up.
Yep. Who else did they give up? Because now you
They
just stuck
gave
on
up-
one because one was injured. Who else?
Bi,
Bi would have gotten paid. His
Jordan
team is
Clarkson, JC.
6-man, perfect off the bench. Pay him 6-man money. He's doing good.
You're crazy.
I'm paying Jordan.
You're crazy.
You're telling me you wouldn't want Jordan
just
Clarkson
paying-
to be
you're
a
just
6-man
paying
on
guys-
the bench?
You're just paying guys to lose games.
How are you paying dudes to lose games, man?
You're paying young players to lose games. That team goes
Is that what the
nowhere.
Pelicans are doing?
That team goes nowhere.
But this roster for the Lakers would go further.
And half those guys get ran out of LA because of terrible play.
Who played terrible besides Lonzo? And that was
When the
because
Lakers
Lonzo was put in a terrible
When
position.
the Lakers aren't winning, their players get chewed out by their fans, correct?
I don't give a fuck about the fans.
Okay, but the players do.
The
And that-
players shouldn't give a damn.
You don't care about the fans, but here we are talking about the fans calling this man Westbrook.
I said nothing
Hey.
about the fans calling them that. I did not once in my argument when I was talking about Russ bring up the fans. You want to know why? Because I don't
And
give a fuck about them.
Isn't that just what Skip Bayless
Well,
and
it
all
also-
them are? Aren't they just fans of the game?
Skip Bayless is a sports commentator. He speaks on
And
sports.
if you don't listen to him, isn't he just
and
another
he's
fan?
also not a fan of the Lakers. He's a Spurs fan.
I mean, no, he's not. He's not a fan, just a fan, because he's still like for that job has to do the research that a normal like standard fan wouldn't do. So he's
yeah,
you know
he's
he's
a
just a
commentator.
fan.
He's not a fan.
He's a professional. Like he's like a
Yeah,
statistician.
he
He's
gets,
you know.
he
But
gets paid to do
If
it.
you choose not to listen to him,
Mhm.
you don't think of him like that. I don't think of Skip Bayless as an analyst or anything like. I don't think of Stephen A. as an analyst or anything like that.
What?
Really?
They are sports
Because-
reporters. What are you
Because
talking about?
when they talk about certain things, you can
Yeah,
just tell that
to
they don't
to
have
get to
the
that
knowledge.
speaking spot, they had to do like the job of like sports news, which means they had to do the analytics and shit like that to get that job in the first
They're
place.
just name grabbers. They all grab onto the same shit.
All right.
Oh, this sounds.
I mean,
cool,
I don't
so we
give a
gonna
fuck
run
either
with
way.
it. What is Stephen A. Smith famous for?
Fucking telling Rihanna that she wasn't as good as Beyonce.
Probably that and his whole little Kwame speech.
Kwame Brown.
Like we're y'all talking about these sports analysts like they would change your guys' mind about something.
they would
like,
never change my mind about anything.
Exactly. So who
Nobody
the fuck-
changes your mind about anything.
So they're only
There go the
on
link,
TV
brother.
because of name grabbing. That's it. Oh, Stephen A. Smith is on here. I know that name, so let me watch it. That's the only reason why those people are on there. Otherwise,
I
why
mean,
wouldn't we have more NBA players as sports analysts?
We
Talking
do
I
have
about-
a
mean,
few, actually.
you're not wrong.
You're
There's
seeing a lot.
pundits and then
But
there's
I'm
news
saying-
reporters. I see what you're saying. Like there's
But I'm
political
saying-
pundits and then there's news reporters. So there's analysts and then there's sports talkers or like commentators.
But
I
when you
get-
rather listen to somebody that's been a part of the game
Yes,
and
that's why.
played the
That's why I
Exactly.
appreciate listening.
I don't know,
to,
man. Listen to Shaq. What are you gonna do? You're gonna give the big man. You're gonna dominate. You're gonna give the big man the ball and let him dominate. That's Shaq's commentary for everything ever.
I
mean,
wouldn't go that far. No.
Well, okay, maybe like No, that's it. That's all I do. Oh yeah, it's not an elbow if you're rotating. That's his other great commentary.
I actually sit down and I enjoy listening to a lot of those sports, those ex-players that have now turned into analysts of the game, man, because every person that sits and they have said all that disrespectful shit about Russ have just been those bum-ass beat writers. And like I said, what the fuck is Fat Boy's name?
Charles Barkley?
Nah, Brian Windhorse, fat ass. Like, he pissed me off.
That's why I don't know why y'all listen to me.
And then, like, you hear no player that actually sits there and actually continues on and says those same things about Russ. What's going on, Tyrone?
What's up, Kings? How we doing, guys?
Man, doing good, brother. How you doing?
Good. Yo, can I get this off my chest real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yo, listen. So we were talking about Russell Westbrook before, how he was in, his accommodation in the Lakers wasn't well. And I have a good take about that. If you think about it, when we go back to Washington with the Washington, and Russ was there, you see the different points and different way that Russell Westbrook was playing there, and you can see how he was more effective there. And the only reason about that is that he had young legs. Like, we have to understand, in the fast break, we really barely seen anybody of our Lakers right behind Russell when he was going down, like a bullet. And then they started acquiring new players, and you could see the fast break was getting better. And one of the reasons why he was coming out of the bench, it wasn't because he wasn't able to play with the big players. It was because those legs was right behind him every time he did a fast break or he needed a fast pace to get, the quick bucket or something like that. You can see it. Can we blame it all on Russell Westbrook? I would say no, because you see sometimes, let's be real, AD wasn't there to grab a lob. There was a couple of times that the lobs were perfect and AD just slipped and slide on the lobs. Like, can we just, foresee that and say that AD doesn't have fault on catching those lobs that were necessary in a game, and more when the game, was really close? Those are the things that sometimes I see, and I restrict myself on blaming it on Russ when it comes down in a team package and more where we look sloppy. Bro, we have been looking sloppy for a while. There's times where we look unbeatable, and there's times where we look like we never played ball before. So we always blame it on Russ, even when sometimes he pulled off a triple-double or a double-double. And how does that fall on Russ? Like the other day, I was seeing one of the games, we have AD that had a 23 points, and LeBron James that had a 24 points. But when you see the turnovers, you have LeBron James with 4 turnovers and AD with 0 turnovers, but yet that game was blamed on AD. And so when we go down to the giddy of it, like, really, can we blame Russ for some of these mistakes that are happening that sometimes apply to the team? You know what I'm saying?
Never blame.
They never blame LeBron. LeBron's never.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not here to blame LeBron neither in that sense. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to the whole of it, the ripple effect comes from leadership, right? If you had a Kobe Bryant there, if Kobe Bryant never passed the ball to Derek Fisher, will we be in the finals? Because they read our play, but we had a Kobe Bryant that was like, Derek Fisher, I know where you at, and I know that you can make that shot. I'll pass it to you in this moment. You're gonna make that bucket and that corner top right wing. I remember that, and he made that, and we won that game because of that decision of leadership. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's hard for me to sit here and as a Laker fan, as seeing what Mamba did in the Lakers and accept what LeBron is doing for the Lakers. I appreciate the championship that he brought into the team, but when it comes down to the leadership, I hate the fact that sometimes he just stands up and leaves to the locker room without saying any word to anybody. Kobe Bryant used to get pissed, but he'll give you a top in the butt and then walk out to the locker room because he understands it's not one game. He knows who you are. He knows who he's playing with.
Yeah, but that's just how Westbrook is, man. Like, he's always been like that dude can't. That dude's that dude's a former banger, isn't he? Like, that's, he's not going to be touchy feely hug time leadership. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, he's talking about LeBron, my guy.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Westbrook.
And when I'm talking about Westbrook, we have to understand sometimes what we don't put on Westbrook that he does very well is when sometimes he's not doing well on offensive, he puts his all on defensive. Like he hustles for that ball. You know, you don't have on status where he dives in to get that ball and pass it to another player. Did the other player miss the shot in his fall? No, but you can see his hustle too, going down the lane, you know, trying to steal that ball and distribute for the team if he's not distributing offensively, you know.
Finishing alley-oops when they come and guard him in the corner, you know what I'm saying, or aren't looking for him in the corner either.
Facts like
exactly.
Like the thing I wish somebody during that moment when they were trying to call Russ a vampire, and they said that he was toxic for the locker room. Please tell me what player has ever came out and said anything negative about Russ in a locker room.
Maybe that's just they're afraid he's gonna fuck him up if they do.
You know,
See,
you know how many, players have actually come out and said amazing things about Russ?
That's the thing. You're listening to these so-called sports analysts that they're giving you their opinions on somebody that they've never been in the locker room with.
And what a better moment when you're getting traded to say something like that, right?
Right.
Yep.
Let's say this about him to make it seem like this is the right thing for them to do, so we look good.
Come on now.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, the GM staff still wants to look good. Like the coaching, like the people making the decisions to move the players and shit want to look like it was the right decision. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, that's the way you cover your ass. I mean, think about it. There's a couple of players in a couple of teams that you will see the same move. That they will do a good move, but not necessarily for the other team, but for the player. You know what I'm saying? Because they say, yeah, he's below what he can do on that team. And I'll say, I think that's going to backfire on us because the team that we send Russ to, there's some old heads there, but we have a lot of young legs that can play with Russ. So that's going to backfire on us a lot. And I'll say something, too, before we keep going forward, that the team for the Lakers back in the day, the whole team, if you think every single Laker player that we have that were young, that we let go, like Julius Randle, Jordan Clarkson, you go on, those players that we all let go, right now, they were averaging 19, 20 points. We need to understand, we let freaking jewelry leave, and now they're shining in the other people's freaking cabinets. Like, these players weren't good in that moment because we didn't give them a chance to develop or to evolve to who they could be. You know what I'm saying?
At the same point, though, it's easier to develop on teams that don't have expectation, like the Lakers have as a winning organization. They're the most rings or the second most rings, right?
Yeah, if you're on the
they're expected to win. But when you're Brandon Ingram and you can go somewhere where you have the ball every possession and you can put up whatever shot you want, that's completely different than putting up the same shots in LA. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a fact, and I think highly of that too, because there is this enigma in NBA that if you get paid more, you get the ball more. And that has destroyed these new players that come through and they can actually shine in a star team. That's why I envy Golden State Warriors, because we let new players come in and do their thing and they actually outshine. You know what I'm saying? In the Lakers spot, if somebody does an error, as soon as they do an error, they sit them down. And then we see our big players, our big stars doing an error, and we keep them on the floor because they getting paid that money, and those that are not getting paid that money are not there to get paid, you know. And sadly, that has been going on for a while. So I believe if we would have put on the balls on Ingram's hand, and he would have delivered the ball to other players, I think that would have been a big success. I think if we didn't let go of Caruso, we would have still been a big success because he is a defensive monster. But yet we let go of our defense, and they put, what was it, the first 2 games that were already putting 130 points on us? It's insane.
But you gotta think, that was the Lakers themselves. That was the Lakers themselves that didn't want to pay Caruso the money that he thought he deserved. I mean, if Caruso never talked to the Bulls, he probably signs that contract that LA offers him. But him being an unrestricted free agent, he gets to go out and hear all those. You go out and you hear all those offers and stuff, and you hear these different roles that you get to play with the team. He would have never been like in Chicago. He has so much free roam because, especially with Lonzo being out, he can do a lot more for that team.
Hey, Chris, I got a question for you real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you think organizations pay these reporters to say dirty things about players after they get traded?
Yes.
Easily.
Like, are you asking
That's
if
the
I
difference between
think the
being an
Lakers
analyst and a pundit.
paid them to say that about Russ?
Yeah.
I don't think that they paid them to say that about Russ, if that's what you're asking. Because the biggest topic that everybody was on during the whole Lakers season, even last year, was downplaying what Russ was doing. So those are just topic grabbers. Oh, Russ is traded. Now we can say this about him. Like,
Mhm.
those are just topic grabbers. If nobody's listening to these people talk about Russ, they wouldn't be talking about him. If Russ was like I said, I keep going back to it. If Russ wasn't making 44 mil, nobody's talking about Russ. Nobody, because the numbers that he's putting up, they're good numbers. They're not bad. Maybe the turnovers is the only thing that you look at, but if he's on the vet min, those are really good numbers for somebody only making that type of money.
All right, can I ask you a question real quick? Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, last year they were leading in turnovers, like a lot. They were doing a lot of turnovers in between both, and they always had the we always see media going at him because of their turnovers, even though they executed well in the offensive area. Then why don't we put that same energy towards LeBron, where he actually does the same thing too? He executes offensively, but he also has more turnovers than the whole team sometimes, and that is something that we cannot look upon, because that can be one of those turnovers can be literally our game losing in a game. So if we're gonna hit that energy with Russell Westbrook, then why we don't hit it with the other two stars that are there too, that are doing the exact same thing when it comes down to turnovers? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I can feel that, but I also think of it as LeBron is being one of the best playmakers of all time, and then you're looking at somebody like JT or JB that don't really have that playmaking ability that you think of. So those turnovers do stand out more when you have 4 assists but 3 turnovers. Then your turnover ratio isn't that nice, opposed to like LeBron, who he
mhm,
has like 3 to 4 turnovers but 10 or 11 assists. It looks different than just having that 3 to 4 assists.
mhm, I feel you.
That's the only thing that I would think differently is because LeBron passes the ball way more than those guys do.
You
I
know,
feel you. Yeah.
um, hold on.
Oh, I need to charge this. It's about to die.
And the crazy
You know,
thing is, he's
it's
probably not even there.
it's interesting that I sit here and think sometimes, what if we kept the young players that we had? What if if we had the coaching material like Celtics does? Will we have a Celtics team that they have now? Will we be able to manage to have a Celtics team that they have now, like with the new Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, um,
I
White?
myself,
I
I feel like
I
that
think
team
I
of
think
young
like
players might.
we would have that type of team. I think we would have been slept on and then come out of nowhere and be, the next, dynasty to talk about. But we didn't give that a chance. In reality, it was only a good year and a half to 2 good years when our players started doing okay, so we can started trading real quick for excellent players. And I think that was our mistake, and now we're looking at the ripple effect. Yeah, we won a championship, but now we're in the long run, we might not ever see a team unless we start over from scratch when LeBron is gone to build a dynasty that we had, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And I sincerely thought we did have that with our Lakers. They were young, they did stupid mistakes outside of that court. But I thought that, I think that right now, I sincerely think that right now we would have kept that team, we would have a Celtics team that they have now. You know what I'm saying?
I myself, I
That's
feel
just
like
me
if
though.
that team would have stayed together, man, that team could have been special.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I will say, and once again, just because I watch a lot of sports shows, I see a lot of like blooper reels with Russ's turnovers every game. Russ averages.
We done with the Russ thing. Let that go.
No.
Let that go.
He brought up
Let that go.
turnovers. Russ averages
go.
3.5 turnovers a game. How many turnovers a game do you think LeBron averages?
I don't know. I'm guessing that.
And he's an actual point guard and shooting guard, right?
3.2. So LeBron averages damn near the same amount of turnovers. He's actually probably
way more points, right?
okay. You see this shit?
Yeah.
That's why you do that.
I
shit,
mean,
Chris.
if you gonna do that, compare the whole stat line.
Chris,
Like
why
don't
you do that?
just
Why
sit
do you
here
do
and be
that?
like, oh,
Okay.
these two just as passers.
Okay. So
Rocking chair with
LeBron.
So one has more
new
workload
house,
than
eh?
the other.
Well, you should
LeBron-
definitely see how Geico could.
Russ is throwing more assists though.
What's their averages? Are you talking about just this year?
We're talking about just this year. Like I understand the points.
yes,
You bringing up him being the all-time leading scorer. I don't give a fuck about that shit. He's played the
No,
most.
Come on now. If we're talking, if we're gonna talk about assists and stuff, we should talk about this year because this year is where they're really bashing on Russell Westbrook. If we're gonna go through whole career, I understand that, and there's a lot of factors we have to put there. We have to put injuries. We have to put how many times Russell Westbrook was out there by himself. We have to put. There's so many things we have to put together to understand, why Russell Westbrook was put kind of like mini setup without even trying to be a setup. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of injuries in which falls to just Russell Westbrook having the ball the whole time when it comes down to LeBron James or AD. So those factors are just gonna be ignored too.
Yeah.
No, it's like I said. Russ was brought in to give the team maybe 10 to 15%. We have been missing AD's 30% or maybe higher that he's supposed to be at right now when LeBron and him joined together. This is supposed to be AD's team. That's the point that we're missing out on. We're literally missing 28 points and 12 rebounds and 2 blocks a game. That's what we're missing.
In fact, because when they're all in the game and nobody is hurt and we're in our prime, I hardly see us losing. We might give a lot of points to the other teams because sadly, defensively, we're not doing well unless AD is on the paint and there's the only defense is on the paint. AD can distribute on that side. But in reality, when it comes down to our defense, we have to understand we give up over 112 points per game. That's insane. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it's really good on the players that they just went out and got, though. And also, to go back...
Besides D'Angelo Russell, he's no defense.
That's fine.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's replacing Russ's shooting ability.
Oh,
You're trading the fast breaks for shooting with D'Lo.
You're trading the fast breaks and decent defense for no defense and shooting.
I don't know about I'm not gonna get into that with you. I would take D'Lo on this Lakers team, though. I know that.
So you're gonna act like Russ don't play defense?
When did I say that? I'm just saying. I would rather have the shooting rather than the whole Russ package. And on top of that, D'Lo, he's a really good playmaker.
Okay,
I give you that. He's definitely a good gameplay maker. But also, we're gonna go like Brooklyn Nets. Like, do we really want to become a Brooklyn Nets? Well, we're gonna execute a lot of points, but they're gonna execute almost the same amount or even more than us. Like that's the I'm always been a defensive player. I've seen that. My Lakers have been defensive as well. Like I love how my Lakers always play defense, and now we have become this defensive and offensive to completely offensive, and is we barely seen 120 above us like that, and now we're seeing that more often, and it's sad, bro. To me, as a Lakers fan, I want to see that. Like we all love that Mamba mentality. Like, okay, I can play offense, but I want to see that defense. I want to see that Kawhi Leonard on the floor. That I'm gonna be quiet, but I can deliver both sides of the floor. Like we need that type of play, that type of playmaker on both sides. Because if it's like that, we might make it to the playoffs. We might even make it to the finals. But to win a finals against a team like Celtics? Be sincere. Do you think we're gonna win against a team like Celtics right now? No, I don't think so.
I mean, I'm not gonna go as far as saying that we will win in a 7-game series against the Celtics, but also we can't. When we think about the defense and stuff, we got to think we didn't have our rim protector for half of the season for 2 years now. Like he's just now getting back to being able to play consistently to where we're not like, oh shit, we should sit him for 5 games just to make sure there's nothing just holding him back.
Facts.
Like we're
Facts.
getting back to that point to where we're not like, oh, he's one fall away from 3 months, you know? Like AD in the last few seasons hasn't played. Oh, he hasn't played more than 40 games probably.
I'm gonna say something though. I kind of miss Dwight Howard on that floor though. I ain't gonna lie. He might not have put those points up, but let me tell you, the rebounds that he cashed sometimes they were jewels. We needed those rebounds. That he was there sometimes to grab them. So
Him, I think the most slept on player is JaVale. I miss JaVale McGee.
Two facts.
Man.
Facts. I was upset when we gave him up.
man.
I was so upset when we gave him up.
As much as people
So
hated
sad.
him, man, he played his role.
LeBron has so much respect for him after when JaVale was on that Warriors team.
Come on now.
When they was playing against the Cavs, LeBron had the utmost respect for him.
Come on now. Who wouldn't though? Like I heard people that they were always talking about McGee because of his mystique and how silly he looked in his mistakes, and it's kind of the same conversation that we have about Russ. You know, we put Russ in that same predicament. Like he's not Russ. Like he's not the triple double monster. Like he hasn't been doing this type of game like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think we're gonna be sleeping on Russ. And then if he wins the championship in this year, which I hope, I don't hope. I just know it's not gonna happen. But if he does win a championship, that's gonna be a slap to all of us.
It's a
in
new
the face.
era in Madison.
And if he executes to play well to win a championship, that's gonna be a bigger slap in our face.
I hope the Clippers win this year. I hope they do.
Don't say that.
Let me go
Don't
back
say
to
that.
the.
That hurts.
Let me go back to the Lakers thing. As far as all those young players that we had to give up, I'm fine with it. Just because of the simple point that I don't think we ever win a championship with that younger team. And then also that Celtics team that we're talking about that we want to be compared to, like if we had our younger players, that Celtics team was led by some great vets. Like our young guys came in. D'Lo came in on Kobe's last year or so. Like they didn't have the best vets. I mean, yeah, you're watching Kobe, but it's the Kobe show.
Hold them.
As far as like the Celtics, like you got Gordon Hayward, you got Kyrie, you got Al, like you had all these players that's showing you the way. It's easy to follow in those footsteps because there's like Kyrie and Gordon at that time were still like young.
Yeah.
Opposed to like when you on the Lakers, like during Kobe's last year, like I could see why they seen it as like a throwaway year. So that's why I really like how mature.
I wouldn't say a throwaway year now.
It was the throwaway. Come on now. It was just hey.
Yo, that was a terrible year. I think they won less than 20 games, right?
It was a Kobe tour.
Pretty much. They won less than 20 games.
Which is fine. Like
you got to respect the GOAT, but
you got to understand that like when you come into the league and it's like that to where people don't care that you're losing games, you have that losing mentality. That's why I really like when D'Lo went to the Nets and they actually made the playoffs because now he's like, I need to get back there.
Yeah.
Or B.I. is trying to get there. Or we heard Book a couple years ago where he's like, I ain't been to the playoffs yet. Like people have to have that urge to get there.
They have to.
And I think when you got Kyrie, Al Horford, Gordon Hayward, like, and you're Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like they felt like they could have took over the team after that. They felt like they was a couple games out away from the finals if LeBron didn't put up what he put up.
Yeah.
I
My
think
bo-
his phone died.
My boy David. David. He ain't there. I was gonna let David say something, but he seemed like he don't know how to unmute his mic.
My bad, bro.
Oh, shit
You
died,
good.
huh?
Yeah, it did. Hey, yo, real quick, we cannot say that our Lakers didn't have a vet there. Let me tell you something. Tell you a quick story about Julius
Oh, that's
Randle.
not.
How Julius Randle put it. He said he was such a fan. He was such a fan of Kobe, and he told Kobe, "Hey, yo, we should chill." And I laugh every time I hear the story because I freaking love it. Kobe said, "You want to chill?" He said, "Yeah, we gotta shoot 500 buckets. You make your buckets, then we can go chill." And he started shooting like that every single time. They went to practice. They shoot 500. They could do whatever, chill at the gym, chill whatever. And Julius Randle became the dog that he became, not because he went to another team. I believe that experience that he acquired it with Kobe. We have to understand Kobe hasn't just impact the Lakers. We have seen big stars that have been impacted by Kobe, like Giannis at the Gatumbo. He has actually, you know, had become better because he had some training section with Kobe. All these players that he was messing around with, like remember when he was messing with Young, he got him mad and pissed off. He said, "If I never had that, man, I wouldn't become the star that I became when I was in the Lakers and I was actually doing big plays." So I believe that this Lakers team, if they would have kept together, I feel like Kobe wouldn't just abandon that team. I think Kobe would have still passed by. I think Shaq himself would have come through and help him out. Like, but we decided to do this big moves, and I think that it became something where the Lakers just was ignored because they already have a star to talk about, and if somebody else will step in and feel like Papa Wolf against another wolf trying to come and become alpha. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that our young team would have the ability to become not only offensive but the defensive because we have Kobe that always covered both. And I don't know. I think our Lakers would have been, if not like, close to what the Celtics are. You know.
I got
Look,
a question for you. Oh, wait, go ahead, David. You saying something?
okay, yeah, you told me we were going to be reviewing X Games clips, right? When are we going to be doing that? Because you know that that's my expertise.
Now go
And
ahead.
like,
You got your
my job
you
to
got
make
your
it look
session right now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
that's my bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about it.
Talk about what?
You said X Games. Go ahead.
No, I was making a joke.
I'm just.
Yeah, this is
Hey,
very white world sports.
I got a question about last question about the Lakers, and we move on to something else. Was LeBron worth all of our assets and draft picks at the end of the day when it comes to him retiring? If he stays with the Lakers till he retires or not, was LeBron worth everything?
Yes.
Well, it's a hard question to answer, man. Because if it was worth one championship, two championships, yeah. But is it worth for a future dynasty? Heck no. Like, who in the right mind would think that for our future of dynasty, risking everything is worth it for one player? For two championships, and we might not even see three. God forbid that we see three. Like, again,
But then you're
we
banking on you're going to get championships. Like, you're going to have a dynasty expected because you gave up, like, you didn't get LeBron. You expect that you're going to have a dynasty automatically. Like, it doesn't seem like, like LeBron seemed like the better choice to like guarantee at
first
least
round
one.
and second round picks. It's first round and second round picks are to create a dynasty. No, it's to the cash and get the best players that we can acquire from outside of the NBA. Drafts. No. So if we're trying to create a dynasty like the Celtics have, they have done some chips to move from other players that are in other teams to their team, but their big players went from the drafts right now. Can we
Do you
say
want a
that?
ring now, or do you want possibly a ring next year.
Of course,
like, you know what I mean?
who doesn't want to ring now? But if I can see a possibility of a dynasty they can win 3P, I will do that.
So you would sacrifice an entire season where you know you're not even going to make the playoffs to guarantee. Well, okay, I guess obviously you could guarantee it, but with a high probability that you're going to get a 3 championship, like it's hard to do that. It's hard to get a 3-peat, right? So like, wouldn't that the odds seem better with LeBron? Is all I'm saying.
You got to think of it this way. We've had LeBron 4 years now. This is year 4, or is this year 5? I think this is year 4.
4.
Now, that draft pick, or all those draft, the way I look at it is, LeBron is not the future. He's just not. So when it comes to like giving up everything you have for him to win, I'm just not with it. This is year 5.
Hindsight's 2020, though. Were you saying that when we signed LeBron?
Yes, I said that. I didn't want LeBron. The reason I didn't want LeBron is because I didn't want LeBron fans. You don't know how many people I know that followed him everywhere he went. And they are some of the most annoying motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. So
LeBron wasn't supposed to be the future.
Huh?
You know that we gave up our.
Oh, yeah,
you know we gave up our future for
the
top
piece
5
of glass.
player.
Yeah, for the piece of glass.
Yeah,
Yes.
we gave up that.
But
for AD.
LeBron
We
wanted
didn't give
it
it up
though.
for LeBron.
LeBron wanted it. And
Okay, but
it all
you have
comes
to understand. You have to understand
Also,
that that's what we gave it up for.
I said, I'm sorry to interrupt you, my man. Go ahead.
And then as far as like the whole Celtics thing and Lakers thing, like they're in a completely different position than the Lakers were. Like we were winning during that time when Kobe, not dissing Kobe or anything, because I would never do that. But during that time in his
this
last
ain't the
year,
place for
Lakers
that.
won. We won 17 games. I mean, I understand it was the Kobe show because it was his last year.
Yeah, I told you that was a game. That was he lost one less than 20, right? His last year.
Let's
Yeah.
look at who would have gotten instead.
I think we won 17 games, if I'm not mistaken. But as far as that, like that Celtics team was built to win, regardless of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum doing what they did do to help that team almost get to the finals. Like that team was built for Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. So if you're already coming into a pre-built team that is built for winning, that's why the Warriors are so good and their younger players, they invest into that because it's winning basketball. If we would have kept those Laker players, like we would have been losing for seasons and seasons, and then we would have had to come. It would have came time for us to decide on if we were going to keep them or not.
Yeah.
Would you have wanted Zion Williamson over LeBron?
What'd you say?
Would you have wanted Zion Williamson over LeBron? Because, like, I'm just looking at the 5 last number 1 draft picks, and I mean, it doesn't seem
He's
like
younger.
that impressive. What's up?
He's younger. Why wouldn't I?
Because he didn't produce when he was. I don't know. Do you think he's producing well? Like, do you think he's?
Well, he's averaging
like
20
getting championships.
He's averaged 25 plus when he's healthy. So yes.
And how many times has he made it to the finals?
It doesn't matter about making it to the finals because if you get a team around him, he would
You're
make
gonna
it.
compare Pelicans team to I'm sorry, give me a second. You're gonna compare Pelicans team to a better team to the Pelicans? Like seriously? I don't think a Pelicans team will even make it near the finals if they had LeBron in there.
That's not what I'm saying. My point is that of the last 5 number 1 draft picks, none of them seem, even if you got all of them, would they be like, you really think Zion Williamson would do better than LeBron would have in the
20, if he when he played or has played the past 2 years, he's averaged 27
when he played,
7 rebounds, 5 assists a game.
But listen, you keep all those young players. How long do you go on with losing? How long are you okay with just? We're gonna get these picks. We're gonna get these picks. We're gonna you're the Lakers.
Okay. Well,
how long do you go on losing?
Zion has played 3 years in the league.
Because if the Lakers go on with their young team, they still had D'Lo then. So we don't get Lonzo. Who do we get then?
Okay. Listen to this.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick. When it came down to Celtics, right? They became greedy with their picks. They weren't really trying to trade their picks. They were trying a lot to not trade their picks actually. And that's how they acquired these young players that came from drafting. Now, if we had again that same mentality with the team that we already had and we keep building from there to now, it's been 4 years where we could acquire a good center, we could acquire a good power forward, we could have acquired all these first or second draft pick that we would have a chance to have what I would call a dynasty team. So I would say that I would say that maybe we would have definitely a team to build around. So that's why Celtics are who they are today. Being greedy and holding back their chances to have a future. You know what I'm saying?
But you also got to understand that the Celtics, they didn't come into that as a losing team or a losing situation. They brought in Kyrie, who was what we want to say a top 5 point guard at that time when he was with the Cavs. And then they brought in Gordon Hayward, who was a top 5 small forward at the time. And then you have all those picks from Brooklyn, who's tanking because they don't have anybody. Like Brooklyn is tanking without any picks. So you have top 5 pick after top 5 pick after top 5 pick, and it's not even because they're your draft. Like they're not your picks. They're not losing games and having to lose games so they have better draft picks. Their better draft picks come from other teams.
Will you consider IT a top 5 player on that time when he was playing?
Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
A little short
like
Isaiah? A little small one?
A top 5 player in the league?
You would consider him a top 5 player, right? But they still made the playoffs. Didn't they? If it wasn't because he got hurt, I believe that year they would have definitely tried to go to the finals. Because they were on a roll. They were on fire. They were not a losing team, and they didn't have a top 5. So why don't we add that to the books? Because they didn't have a top 5, and they were still requiring to get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that Celtics team was just really defensive built to where.
That's what I'm saying. Us Lakers, we will always be a defensive team built, and we have become from a defensive team that we always become defensive and offensive because we was on both ends to completely go offensive, and now we've been letting go slowly but surely all of these defensive players that are key to us. Again, we look bad defensively, bro. When we don't have Caruso, I miss Caruso on the floor. I miss his energy because his energy would have definitely picked us back up to go back into offensive or into the defensive. Even if he wasn't a defensive player, when Caruso was there, we was just as a whole a better defensive team, and we letting of that go too easily to acquire an offensive player here and there, and now we're looking we can put up 130 points in paper, but they can put up 100, 120, if not 140 on us. That's what I'm saying.
Though, with the players that we drafted, we didn't draft any defensive players that were known coming into the league as really good on ball or rim protectors.
When are these draft picks that are you talking about? Because we ain't got shit.
I'm saying with our younger squad, that's what we're talking about.
Julius Randle
Lonzo was a lot.
Julius Randle was not a complete defensive monster, but he was a good defensive player. We have other players.
I don't mean to cut you off, but you're saying that when Lonzo was at UCLA, he was known for his defense.
Bro, everyone knew that Lonzo was a 6'6".
He was known for his defense, though.
Everyone knew that Lonzo had very good defense because
you remember who put them out the tournament, right?
I do remember, and don't even bring that shit up.
And you know who it was, right? And you know who was guarding De'Aaron Fox that game, right? I don't
give a fuck who was guarding.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking because when he's up against another really talented point guard, what happened?
De'Aaron fucked him up. He had 30 that game, didn't he?
That's who the Lakers are supposed to draft.
I'm gonna go back. Hold on. We're gonna keep this up, but I want to go back to what David was saying.
We should have drafted Tatum. We should have drafted Tatum. You're talking about,
hey, but Tatum came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
because Tatum struggled so much at Duke. He
But-
struggled
Hey, he
so
just didn't
much
get the
at
China
this.
law. Hey, we have to understand nobody got the China the Lonzo got in high school, bro.
And you got to
Nobody
think,
did.
at that time we had Bi, so it didn't make sense for us to
Yeah.
draft another wing.
Yeah. But
We were missing a point guard.
David, this is for you, my guy.
No. Hold on. I've been waiting to talk to you about this. Are you about to compare Zion Williamson and LeBron? Because they have the same points, they have similar rebounds, but LeBron has more than twice the assists. Is that what you're going to say? Is that
I don't give a damn about the stats of LeBron or anything. I'm just letting you know that since Zion has been in the league and has actually been playing, last year he played 61 games. His team made it to the playoffs and would have beat the Suns if he was actually playing. His team this year was the 3 seed when he was healthy, and they would have been a top 5 seed in the playoffs this year. So
Right.
You say the same thing about the Lakers then? If we had AD, we would be a playoff
Even if you
team.
had AD, no.
Hold on now, because we were playing very good against that Phoenix team that made it to the finals.
The Lakers have the last time the Lakers were in playoff contention was when everyone was 0-0.
What do you mean? When we played against Phoenix
And,
round one,
I'm talking
the year
this
that they
year,
went to
sir.
the finals.
Sir, I'm talking this year. We're talking this year, strictly this year.
Dariel talks about it like we're 30 games out of the playoff contention.
I'm just letting
Like,
you know.
We're literally
We ain't been in the
3 games
playoffs,
away from
and we
being
ain't
to
been
the
in the
playoffs.
playoffs since the season started, and
So
we
you
were
don't believe in the
0-0 with
Lakers?
everyone else. No, I don't believe in the Lakers this year. We're not winning the ring.
I'm not really a fan.
It's
man.
not happening. I'm sorry.
I believe in my Lakers all the time. But if I talk realistic, in my heart, I want them to win. In my mind, I'm like, I don't think they ain't gonna win.
Right, but you,
I'm a realist.
Let's just be real.
Hey,
I'm a realist.
they
I'm a
got
super
better
realist,
at what
man.
they were missing. They got better 3-point shooting, and they're a better defensive team now with younger players.
You said not having McGee on that floor or the Dwight Howard on that floor, or people that they were actually blocking them shots on that floor.
I think we're just missing them just because we haven't seen a full picture of AD. Like if we had AD out there,
yeah, that's a nostalgia. AD on that floor is a nostalgia every time he's there because we feel like he is gonna execute with such power every time, and he gets hurt once again, and we feel like, the Chicago Bulls feel about Derrick Rose. He came back, he's gonna lift this team up, and then he gets hurt, and then we get hurt. We get hurt with him. Damn it, we don't want that.
Well, that's why we brought in
He changed his
Obama.
entire play style to still be a competitive player. Like that's not the same.
And that's the reason why we brought in Obama, though, too. Is because
They're
JaVale
not the same, but I'm just saying the impact of the team. So Derrick Rose impacted the team, and AD impacted the team. That's the way I'm talking about. I know their play style are different, but you're gonna discard that his impact and the other person impacted the team is not there.
No. All I was saying is that Derrick Rose found a way to still be a part of the game, whereas AD, if he's out, he's out. Like if he Derrick Rose, he blew out his knees and he redeveloped his game to still be competitive, whereas AD can't really do that because he's.
I feel you. Yeah, I understand that 100%. I was talking about the impact in the game.
I wanted to show that I knew something about basketball. That's all. That's all.
Well, you had some good talk about the Lakers, man. I'm done talking about them fucking bums. So,
But you probably still believe in the Warriors, huh?
As soon as they make the playoffs,
I don't actually.
I believe the whole season.
You don't believe the Warriors can still make a run?
I feel like they can make a run, but with all the talent that's placed in the West right now, and how the Celtics have the Celtics and the Bucks, man, they just keep climbing. They keep stepping up. You see the Celtics and the Bucks, man.
We're not talking about the Bucks on this podcast.
Okay. We're just gonna go with the Celtics.
After who
We're not
with them.
Yeah.
We're not with them.
Until he's off the fucking team, fuck the Bucks. It's fuck Giannis until that nigga's gone, man.
Well, until Seattle gets a team, fuck y'all, because the Bucks.
Man. So yeah, the Celtics just keep climbing because, like I said, I'm not bringing the Bucks up because they got Buddy on the team, man. They shouldn't have done that. So the Celtics just on the uptick. I think the Warriors on the decline. You know, Steph can come back, and you know Steph can do Steph things, but the Warriors repeating this year, I don't see it.
Klay Thompson would fucking step up his numbers a little bit. It might be nice, but my fantasy team might do better.
I don't see why they can't win the West with a healthy team. As far as health, like if we're talking about a healthy team, I don't see why they can't win the West. We're talking about the frauds, the Suns. We're talking about the frauds. I don't believe in them. I gotta see some games played, man. I don't believe in them.
Stupid on paper, bro.
Man, but when you think about all them niggas frauds. I swear they frauds. I ain't believing in none. CP, we know how he get when the playoffs hit.
Disappears.
Book's first time showing in the finals, he was shook. DeAndre Ayton, he feel like they don't even like him.
Yeah.
I think the X factor of that team will be KD.
Oh, of course.
And then Dre, you got to think.
So we still talking about the Lakers?
Draymond and KD ear.
No, we're talking about Celtics.
I'm loving that.
Wait, which one? Oh, Draymond and KD ear?
Yeah. Oh, look at you joining another already pre-built team.
Yo, that would be a dope ass matchup, man.
I swear.
But I'm telling you, I just don't see it. You know, I'm real pissed at the Grizzlies.
For some reason, I don't think KD and LeBron, KD and LeBron will, be well with each other, anyways. If we're still talking about the Lakers.
Oh yeah, fuck the Lakers. We done.
Battle of the bad knees.
We done with the Lakers.
Don't talk about them champions like that, man. Don't say nothing when the Lakers win the finals.
There's only 2 champions on that team, nigga.
I believe in my team. I still think my team is gonna make it every time, even if we suck. Damn it.
Hey, I'm with you.
Hey, you're just not gonna put money on it.
That sounds crazy, don't it, Chris?
I just won't put my money.
We just want to ring.
You're just not gonna put money on it, but you believe.
We just want to ring 3 years ago, yet nobody from that team is still on the team. Besides
it's not
2
that
people.
crazy. It's not
Except
that
the
crazy.
Browns.
You gotta think. After when people win championships,
Everybody
and
gets
some
paid.
people exactly. Some people are like, okay, I got my ring. I might as well go and get this bag now. I'm good. I got my win.
How many people left the Bucks when they won?
That's
2
literally
years
what
ago?
LeBron did.
Ah, we're not talking about them.
How many people? Yeah, but how many people were under contract with the Bucks longer than just one season?
Only person that's been gone is PJ. Bobby Portis re-signed?
Yeah, Portis was the only person that they re-signed. And Lopez, I think. That's the only 2 people that they had to take care of.
They had to take care of...
Everybody was taken care of.
West.
That Lakers team
Didn't get a ring. He can't because he was in LA that year. Fucking
that Lakers team, like, what we gave Danny Green 1 year, we gave Avery Bradley 1 year, we gave Rondo 1 year, we gave Dwight 1 year, we gave JaVale 1 year. Like, that's all 1 year contracts.
Just trying to buy rings. Melo was on the 1 year. Like
that's what teams do though. When you get the
we're a pawn shop.
Melo wasn't on that team.
Yeah.
Melo wasn't on that team.
I know he wasn't on that winning team, but
yeah,
like they was out here just trying to buy rings. Let's go down the top 75 list and let's grab everybody that's still active. Let's grab them all.
They tried to do that the next year. They said, all right, this worked. Let's just get some more vets.
Yeah, they should have known at some point old motherfuckers can't hang with the young ones.
Oh, that's Tyler Hero.
Why you keep bringing up Tyler Hero?
Because he's funny. Because he wore a shirt of himself. What was it? Butler wore a T-shirt of him wearing a do-rag, and it was funny. That's all.
Yeah, Warriors not repeating though, man. It'll be tough.
I don't think so. I don't think so. If he don't come back from that injury and execute, I don't think he's gonna do well. I'm talking about Steph. Klay Thompson has been missing for some reason. I don't know where he's at. I don't know, man. It's tough. If Jordan Poole will be literally their X factor if Steph comes back. If Steph's
Clay was
not
injured
making buckets, and between him and Paul is the only people that I would think that I say that maybe that's gonna be their winning, and that's not enough for the Celtics team right now. I don't think so.
Oh, I'm not. I mean, that Celtics team, the Warriors team can put up just as many points as anybody, especially when they're healthy.
Facts. I
Like,
believe it. I believe it. Yes.
so
But
with
then
that
why is
Celtics
Thompson
team,
able to come back up after his injury?
the only thing about that Celtics team is
What you say,
it's
David?
kind of
Klay Thompson been able to turn back up after his injury because he was injured for like the first 2 months of the season, and I know this because he's on my fantasy team.
People got to
And he has not,
recognize
like-
how Clay plays, though. Like, you can't expect 30 a game from Clay every game. Like,
You can
yeah,
expect something. He's
Huh?
fucking on my team.
he's a two-way.
yeah,
So you
like,
can't just look at one side of the ball.
You got to
and be like,
remember
oh,
that
that's
boy is
it.
guarding the best player on defense. He doesn't dribble the ball.
Yeah, but this season
Yeah.
his stats are not great, man. It's one of the
we
only
gotta
players I
remember that during the playoffs, a star was born. That Wiggins guy that everybody forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
He's been nowhere to be found.
that's fine. He can do that. But when the playoffs come, who says that he won't be?
That's just
I
like
believe it.
him and Jordan Poole
I believe it.
him and Jordan Poole better turn into Jordan and Pippen in the playoffs. Because them
Hey,
motherfuckers
I'm not a Golden State Warrior
In the
fan,
last-
but I'm gonna say Wiggins is definitely one of my favorite players for sure. The way he hustles on the floor, offensively and defensively, yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah,
In the
Wiggins
last
looked
eight
like
games-
Wiggins might have been the third best player on the finals floor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's why I'm saying, like, it's all about, obviously, if the Warriors are making shots, they're the hardest team to guard in the NBA.
Yeah,
The
'cause
hardest, by far.
all them passes and screens, man, you got to work through so much. They
Also, we
drain
have to
you.
put out the fact
Exactly.
that
And then you have to go down there and you have to play off.
You got to play offense right after chasing niggas for 24 seconds because they will
Exactly.
run around the whole fucking court. They will set 80 screens for Steph before a shot gets put up just so he gets some wide open. And then you got to turn around and try and score. And then know that you got to get right back on defense.
80 screens and he might not
break.
even shoot.
He
He might not even get the ball.
You got 3 people chasing Steph around. Everybody else wide open, but you
You
chasing
got
after
Draymond
him.
slipping the screen for that one dunk that he gets the game.
In the last 10 games, if Klay Thompson scored over 20, they won. So they won, like, was it 5 games? He's actually, okay, never mind. He's starting to cook. But, like, why? So he's inconsistent then. Like, he has good game, bad game, bad game, good game, good game, bad game.
I don't know if
Like-
you can consider Clay, when it comes to scoring, having a bad game if he's not scoring.
And you got to
can't.
He's
realize that
not doing nothing else.
But
he's
he
gonna
does-
play a lot better when he has Steph on the floor.
Like I said, you got to remember that he's guarding the best player on defense every game.
I don't think that's his role anymore, though.
Who's
Can I
guarding
say
the best
something
player on
too?
defense?
That's what
Wiggins.
last year. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're straight. No, he was just
So,
asking who is guarding the best player when the Warriors play, and I said Wiggins.
I still don't.
I mean,
think that's
Clay is probably on the guard, but Wiggins is definitely on like their top scorer.
Yeah, that's a fact. Last that
You think his
the-
knees
like,
can
you have
keep
the
up
fact
with
that-
Ja?
Who?
Last
Clay?
Yeah. You think his
No,
knees now can
no.
keep up with Ja?
No.
Hey man, that nigga rides a bike to
Come
the
on now.
arena every
Last-
night, bro.
Come on now.
He rides
Oh,
a bike to
That
the
dude
arena
still lives
every
with his
night.
parents. Like, he
Like-
moved his whole family into his mansion.
Like against the Celtics, he guarded JB. And then Wiggins was on Tatum.
That's because Wiggins is longer and taller.
Aren't they
Can
the
I-
same
can-
height?
No, hell no. Ain't
Aren't
Andrew
they
Wiggins
both?
like 6'7", 6'8"?
What is Clay?
Clay is like 6'5", 6'6".
6'5".
Put it this way: last year, Jason Tatum wasn't showing up like that on the championships, and if he does show up and Jaylen Brown is right behind him, I don't think they lose in a championship because
That's a big
he
if,
went
though.
MIA a lot too, and he was talking about how something about his shoulder happened to him, and he wasn't playing to his full effect. So if I say this, if Tatum is playing the Tatum game that he's playing right now, and Jaylen Brown is playing the game that he's playing right now, I don't see a Celtics team losing this year. like
That's a big if though, because Jaylen Brown has been time and time like inconsistent to where you forget that he's even playing basketball.
I definitely forgot he
Like
was playing
that
basketball because of that
that
injury. He came
yeah,
back and he
and
was
that's the
silent.
problem. That's the problem is the Warriors can hit you with so many things. Not saying like that's their biggest threat. The
Clay
Warriors
six
can hit you
six,
with so many things.
Clay 6'6", Andrew Wiggins 6'7", but he's longer when it comes to arm wingspan.
Oh, so they're the same height. But
Yeah, damn near,
at
yeah.
that same point, like JB has to be that guy because you look down the roster, you're not depending on 20 to 25 points from Al Horford or Marcus
No,
Smart.
you can't
mm-hmm.
expect that
So
anymore.
so that's why that pressure is there for those guys as opposed to the Warriors. Like you got Wiggins who can go off, you got Clay, you got Steph, you got JP. Like you have all these guys that can literally get you
Hmm
30 just in the blink of an eye.
Because at some point they're going to double Jason Tatum. They're going to.
Yeah.
They're going to
Yeah.
make everyone else
Oh
around
yeah.
them beat them. Just like any team that was playing against the Mavericks would have made anyone besides Luka beat him. But for some reason, that nigga was always guarded by one person and was going off. Never understood it. But at some point, they will double Tatum, and they will make everyone else beat him. It just makes sense to do it that way.
I think they're
Another
best. I think the guy that really makes that team go in the playoffs and in the finals this year would be Malcolm Brogdon. Like
Yes.
if he's going, they're winning it for sure because he's that third scorer to where like if JB not on, you can give him the ball and say, "Hey, can you go give me 22?" 22 and he plays defense. I'm also mad that the Lakers didn't even attempt to get Malcolm Brogdon because he's literally like top 5 for 3-point percentage right now, and he's a lockdown player.
Mm-hmm.
and
You
then LeBron
know,
can focus. LeBron could focus more going in and having him out, dish that ball out. You can focus AD being in with LeBron as well, or being in with another big or another person that can get a rebound. And yeah, I'm
look,
with you 100%.
let's
I
not
think
get
we would have been a
started
way
on
better team
AD
if we had
being
a
in the
3-point
paint.
shooter that was reliable.
Yeah, but it's so much like that plays into that fact because you don't want to give up all these players and trade away this and trade away that just for AD not to be on the floor. Like you
Facts.
know what I mean? Like that's why I
God,
think
this
that they
nigga
waited so
Clay
long.
is selling.
I think that that's why they waited so long to trade Russ. Not because they couldn't trade him, but because AD was gone for so long that they needed Russ to try to win more games with Braun, and you can win games with Russ on your bench, opposed to
Um,
like having to depend on D'Angelo Russell and Jared Vanderbilt. And that package probably wasn't there at that time.
yeah.
Clay actually has been selling. You see his last game? My goodness. Nigga shot 5 for 21.
But he also put up 41 points, 31 points, and 27 points in the last, 3 or 5 games? Or no, 3 or
Yeah, I
6
was gonna
games.
say, because
Um,
games I'm
I was
looking
gonna
at.
say also from Celtics and Warriors matchup for the finals, if they ever seen it, most of these players in the Celtics team never seen a final until that time. Now they experienced the
Damn.
final. They're more experienced in the final. Maybe they're gonna lose that fear, or you're gonna have a White actually knocking them down, playing better defense. So I don't know. I think that that might play as a factor too. The fact that we're already there and they've done that and they actually stretched it to 7 games. I think that we're going to see a much different Celtics team that we seen last final. I think we're gonna see a more prepared team to that moment, and I think they're gonna stand up this time. You know.
All right, speaking
But
of
as far as their
the
young players, I
Celtics,
would say yeah. But as far as like their vets and stuff, they shouldn't have fell off like they. That's why I don't think any of us will give Chris Paul a pass for how he played in the finals.
absolutely not.
It's
Speaking
because
of the
you have
Celtics,
experience. Like Al Horford has the experience. We all know that.
Mhm.
speaking of the Celtics,
He's so wholesome, too.
Yes.
speaking
Yes.
of the Celtics,
Love that guy.
what y'all feel about Ime Udoka being out and them sticking with the current coach?
I think it was a business decision that you didn't want a whole bunch of drama surrounding championship team.
Hey, they're not our Lakers. They don't like drama, bro. It's not a Hollywood thing over there, bro. They just want to win games, bro.
Yeah,
Very
you gotta
candid.
think.
And let me say that this new coach that they have in the Celtics, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of disagree with some of his play, but I'm kind of with it too. Like letting the players kind of decide the final takes and let them play the game as a team whole, because that's what they practice for, and actually come genuinely to come to the last bucket. He experiments a lot with that. I don't think that will work in a championship game. I think he should coach in a championship game when it comes down to tight games like that. But letting them free was kind of different to me, so I kind of like that fact from him.
And you got to think, they let that guy go.
Joe Mazzulla.
You go from Brad Stevens to this in 1 year. Like, Brad Stevens he's like, I didn't let you replace me just to do this.
Yeah, Brad Stevens, man, he looks like a
He's
bad hire.
Brad Stevens?
Yeah, as a coach, compared to what these other coaches have been doing, Brad Stevens seems like he's a bad hire at coach.
Those Celtics teams definitely weren't put together how he as a GM has put together this Celtics team.
That same Celtics team that made it to the finals last year, because it was the exact same team that he coached the year before.
It was not.
It was.
It was not.
It was.
It was not.
It was.
It was not.
I was gonna say that not
Draymond.
necessarily. I don't agree with that necessarily. I think that with the years come the experience, and with the new players too that came through that actually helped. McCartan, Horford back again. There was some couple of factors there that did change the game from the Celtics. Having that veteran there again to help out with the team was a big factor on that team. I think that came through for them as well. So I'll say I kind of disagree with him just being a bad coach. I think there was some factors there that actually made being a bad GM. I think that some couple of things that were changed they came along to help these coaches be a better coach. Like having Hal Horford on the floor itself is just that veteran guy knows what he's talking about. It's like a Tim Duncan. He knows what he's talking about. He knows how to get his players to play their role.
Right, and we're talking about a Brad Stevens that coached a young, starting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to the East Finals against LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
That almost went to the finals with their two best players not playing a single game. With Kyrie and Gordon. Yeah.
That sounds insane.
Yeah.
Robert Williams, Grant Williams, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford.
What year are you looking at?
2020 to 2021. Derek White, exact same team.
No, they didn't have Derek White because they just got him last year.
Hold on. Oh damn! I was looking at this year's. I had bounced back. No, you're right.
Didn't they acquire Hal Horford last year too?
No,
back again.
He was there, then he left, and then he came back. Oh, they had Jabari Parker. My God.
Yeah. That
Evan
just
Fournier?
says it right there.
All right, yeah, you're right. My God.
In his canter or in his freedom at that time.
Wait, no, he wasn't there.
Exactly. Like none of those guys. They had Joe Johnson on the roster. You in here talking about the same goddamn team?
No way. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, Joe Johnson.
Jeez, I need to leave, guys. I have to work in the AM, but it was great to share this time with you guys. It was awesome.
Hell yeah, man.
Nice to meet you, man. Have a good night.
Like you said, it's nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too. You guys have some amazing takes, guys.
Hey, we gotta have you back in here.
We definitely gotta have you back.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm honored, guys. I'm so honored. I love your show, and if I can be here again, I will do it all over again.
Hey, man,
All I gotta say is my back
welcome,
hurts from
brother.
carrying this conversation.
You always welcome.
Have a beautiful night, guys.
Hey, you too,
All right,
brother.
you too. Yeah, my man, you tried to disrespect Brad with this roster. Talk about same roster.
Tristan Thompson and Daniel Tice with Mo Wagner. Damn. A Cheeks
wait.
Kimba? These niggas
nah.
was trash.
Yeah.
Wait, what were their record this year? No way. Oh,
Nah.
yeah, they were 36 and 36. Finished 7th. Yeah, these niggas was trash.
And you was trying to say that that's the same team.
Damn. Them boys was garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made Doku came in.
Buzz.
Still not as bad as the Knicks.
Joe Johnson was there in 2021. I mean, 2020. Last year he was. He
2021.
Yeah, he won there.
2 years ago.
Brad
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
So wait, Seattle was picked as an expansion team. How do you like select players for a new team? Like, is it like hockey where you can take one player from each team already, or like how does that work?
The teams of the NBA teams, they would put 2 players that they don't want into the pot.
Yeah, they would have like
Oh,
a
okay.
certain amount of players that they can protect.
Yeah, so say the Lakers could protect 10 players.
Okay.
Or if it's 15 on the
man,
team,
that makes the NHL
players.
brutal because in hockey you get to pick whoever the fuck you want, which is why for like the last 2 seasons, fucking starter up teams have won the championship because they just take the best players from every team.
Yeah, you might as well, yo. Shit, ain't no reason not to.
Yep, Vegas and then Seattle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit. So I think
since we're on the topic of hockey,
yeah, go ahead. Give us some hockey news, brother.
go ahead.
Well,
The rest of the show is
hockey's
yours.
going good, I think. I don't actually follow hockey. It's not in season right now.
Hockey is in season right now.
Is it?
Yes. It's always in season with the NBA.
Well, that shows how much I know about. Back to snowboarding. White boys be jumping out of helicopters and shit. I can tell you what's going on in the world of squash.
Okay. Squash. Okay.
No cricket.
Right? Quidditch at all?
Fuck it, did I say Quidditch?
Sure, you might have.
I said squash.
Oh, okay.
I was actually intended to say Quidditch because it would have been funnier, but squash is a.
All right, so we might just leave it here, man. We had a nice little show, man.
The only thing I wanna address is the Eagles losing the Super Bowl definitely is not on Hurts. We're not gonna leave that one untouched.
Okay, we can talk about that real quick. Jalen Hurts almost played a perfect game. Almost.
You're gonna go off by that one fumble, aren't you?
That fumble was the almost. That's it. That's the only bad thing I can say about Jalen Hurts in that Super Bowl. He played way better than Patrick. He made smarter decisions than Patrick, besides that one mistake.
Did you see the play?
What the play with the fumble?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was just trying to put the ball in the other hand to run. But
not even that. He literally got grabbed by his face mask and his head just pulled straight down to the
Welcome to the NFL, bro.
Yeah, well, I ain't see that part. I didn't.
But then they gonna call that soft ass hold
that hold at the end of the game. Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, and Ndamukong Suh got like a 3-game suspension, $100,000 fine for doing that on his opening game of his career. He did the exact same thing. He smashed the dude by the face mask into the ground. I think he was the quarterback for the Bears. But either way, there were a lot more consequences for that.
Yeah, I didn't see that entire play. I was pretty lit. So
no, that holding play was.
No, I'm talking about the fumble, because all I remember for the fumble was him running away, and he was trying to switch the ball to the other hand. But when he switched the ball to the other hand, he got hit, and that's where I thought he fumbled. I didn't see the whole pulling and yanking of the face mask.
Yeah,
fundamental football says
he looked down hands. To switch
That's
hands.
The first thing you learn in football practice is don't switch hands. Like hover the ball. You know what I'm saying?
He was gonna run past the first guy that hit him, but the dude, he ran past him and he slipped, so he grabbed onto his face mask, but then he let it go. But Jalen was already falling, and when somebody grabs your fucking face mask as you're moving the ball to your left, of course you're
throw
gonna
you off
fumble it.
balance. Yeah, it's gonna throw you
Yeah.
off balance. Throw your fucking equilibrium off.
But that holding call, if like
Yeah, that
you
was
gotta
a
call that,
travesty. Like,
you gotta call that all game,
yeah,
or you just gotta let it ride.
yeah. Like I said,
because
the
there's
refs
holding on
decided that
every
game, man.
Yeah,
man,
there is
'cause
holding
there's
on every play. That is
yes.
like it's literally one of the fucking like offensive line blocks is to literally grab them under the armpits. Like stick your thumbs under their fucking chest plate, then just throw them. So like
Exactly. But also I do think like not saying anything, but that field definitely had a play into it.
Yeah, $800,000 for some wet ass grass.
Yes, because the thing about Hurts is
He needs
he's
to
not
run.
he's not gonna sit in the pocket for 15 seconds.
No.
Mahomes, if you give Mahomes that much time, you're losing the game. And what was our defense most known for? Turnovers
Turnovers
and
sacks.
us and getting
Attacking and
sacks.
getting that
And
quarterback.
yeah. And
Applying pressure.
the Chiefs don't exactly have the most like OP line.
They don't.
But when we can't
you
get
have
to
a
Mahomes,
freak like fucking Mahomes.
like we can't get him to roll out on that busted ass ankle. Like that's a problem to where he's having 10 seconds in the pocket.
Yep, he had a lot of time back there.
If you watch the plays, because every time they hiked the ball, I was looking at our D line because that's where our plays come from.
Couldn't move.
As soon as they would snap the ball, they would jump off to try to do their move, and they would slip. Well, then you just got a fucking 300-pound man while you on your knees, just holding you there,
pushing you down.
Yeah,
like, nigga, you're not getting up. Keep
making you feel
down.
safe.
Yeah.
like you
One.
already lost the battle when you fall down. Then you
Well,
got
I don't know,
Mahomes
man.
just
Tell that
stepping
to
up.
fucking Emmitt Smith or like any of the like power runners who can literally like be almost perpendicular with the ground or parallel with the ground and still drive forward. The bear crawl and shit. Like some of those, I don't know, man. Some of those dudes can do it.
No, but I'm saying like as a pass rusher, like your first thing, especially like a Hassan Reddick, like your first thing is being fast off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So when you lose that first step, like it's hard for him as an outside linebacker to overpower these old linemen.
Yeah, especially I mean, try like having a professional O lineman like you're on your knee and try to just stand up and see if they can't stop you. Like
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's fair.
Because his best thing was literally getting around, which would have been like it would have been tough because it's Patty. So then he just rolls out to that side. But I'm fine with him rolling out when he's on that ankle. That's the only thing that I wanted the Eagles to do. Make him
attack
roll.
the fucking ankle.
Yeah, just make him roll out every play.
I jumped for joy when I saw it, and I hate saying this, but like in an instance of knowing that someone's injured, I'm sorry. It's either you or me. I'm going for the ankle. Nigga, I'm going for the leg.
Hold on. I got a story about that. So one of the only things that I did really well when I was playing rugby in college is during a practice, I got my ankles broken, like on one end of the field, and I got up and I chased that motherfucker all the way down. And it was our star player, and I grabbed him by the ankle so he wouldn't score, and I broke his ankle. He couldn't play for the rest of the season because I'm dumb. Like it was the only like impressive feat I did that whole season, and it was to accidentally injure one of our own players. So don't always go for the ankles, not always.
Shit, in that case with Patrick Mahomes, you got to go for the ankle. You got to go for the leg.
Well, and in the NFL today, you can't fall on players. So the best thing that you can do is literally like wrap them up by their legs, which is why you're seeing those quarterbacks with more leg injuries because players are so scared to fall on the quarterback that they don't want to go for those like up the top hits.
Yeah, but that was in response to like, have you guys ever watched like 80s, 90s fucking blit, like QBs getting sacked highlights? Like people got murdered. Like
no, but it's not even that. Like you as a defensive lineman can be running at the quarterback and like just bear hug him and fall to the ground. If you
Yeah.
fall on top of him, that's roughing the passer now.
No, that's not roughing the passer.
That's
That
what they're
is. You can't fall on the quarterback.
You cannot.
Oh, wait, if he gets the pass off?
No, literally,
At
he
all?
could still have the ball. If he's in that pocket,
They are calling
you cannot fall. You cannot fall on the
Wait, so
quarterback.
if you get a sack and like if you're running at a dude, you bear hug him and fall down on him, that's roughing the passer.
Yes,
The refs
you
will
can't
call it.
fall. You can't
That's
fall on the
ridiculous.
quarterback
That's fucking ridiculous.
because they're like you can't fall on him with that much weight.
But that's like literally the motion of tackling. That's the intention of tackling is to land on top of the person. Like,
Yeah. You preaching to
or
the choir,
like go
brother.
through them either way.
You preaching to the choir.
Well,
like that's why
only
defensive
learned about
players
this,
are
so I'm
like
still outraged.
that's why defensive players are like, what are we supposed to do? Or that's why you see like so many defensive players, like quarterbacks run to the sideline and they like fake a pass, and a defensive player will stop playing defense. Like that D line isn't gonna go up and hit the quarterback like they usually do.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just
So
saying,
like
man, you know,
a quarterback can pump fake, and the D line is just gonna sit there and just look at him, and then they gonna continue to play.
yeah. Well, like I said, man, that was a Super Bowl, man. I'm taking the penalty. I am destroying him in that and I'm destroying him in the backfield. I'm taking the penalty.
Unless that penalty costs you too much.
Hey, why-
15 yards in the beginning of the game, you can have it. Let me just make sure that leg hurting.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Man.
Well, it's a different game. It's a different game if he has to run on that more.
Which
Because
is
that was
more
our whole
impressive,
game
like,
plan, was to make him run, was to make him get outside the pocket.
Yep.
But when you can't get pressure because the fucking
The
grass
fucking
is
field,
wet,
man, it's crazy.
Man, I played on grass and after church, and I will say that like after church hurts way more though. Like
no,
you end up with entire burns all over your body. Like
they played at the Cardinals Stadium, and the Chiefs themselves complained about that stadium in week 1 of the season.
Same issue, right?
Yes, the same issue. And then sure enough, what happens? Your quarterback goes down because of a knee injury and tears his ACL on your home field. And you don't do anything about the grass or anything.
And then the NFL has its biggest game of the year, knowing damn well that grass or whatever the fuck they purchasing is ass.
And that's why the Chiefs complained, because they literally knew they had a chance of being back there and having to play on that field.
So
sure enough,
do you guys
might have won in the game.
That's a beautiful
Do you guys
field,
believe in the
though.
argument that like AstroTurf allows people to like, because it's a little bit bouncier, it can cause like larger, you can jump higher and you can like
well, from my understanding, they actually bought grass for that game.
Yeah.
That was actual grass that they got installed.
well, grass needs time to root. Like you can't just do that instantaneously without having it. Like that's why there were so many holes in the freaking field then. Because you
that's
like
what a lot of
normally
teams are
home
going
like,
away
when you
from.
have it home field
like
home field grass, like it's been there all season.
Yeah, but a lot of teams are going away from like the turf because of the ACL injuries and stuff like that.
Like
It also you end up getting road rash like everywhere that's not covered.
I think everyone growing up so used to playing on grass too. Like going to that fake shit, man, it's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also when it's freezing, like if it's snowing, like we played a couple of games in the snow on that shit. That shit is frozen solid. That shit might as well be cement.
Yeah. Shit's probably feels like needles when you land on it and shit.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But you don't feel it because you're in the heat of the game.
Yeah,
you feel it when the game's over, though.
shit,
Like as soon as the game's over, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, playing on turf, like they have the most non-contact injuries.
You know what? I can say a little bit that's true because I watched our team captain tear his ACL for the 4th time, and our home turf was Astro. So. Yeah.
Or if you need like a really big reminder, you can just go back and watch the Rams Super Bowl where Odell literally just ran a simple route.
Ran a route and just fell.
Nobody within 10 yards of him just tore his ACL.
Tore his ACL, man.
Dak Prescott, was that grass?
No, that was turf. But that was a freak injury. Somebody landed on his foot.
No. His unhit. No, he was unhit, and he went for a slide. Remember, and he broke his leg.
Yeah, I think I think his ankle rolled up.
Yeah, he got hit. Somebody tackled
No,
him on the way
dude, he
down.
did not get hit. It is literally him running. He goes to slide, it catches, and the dude doesn't hit him because that would be roughing the quarterback. And like he doesn't get hit.
Man,
that's what was so weird about it, is that he literally was just running, went for a slide, and fucked his whole leg up. He broke his leg, is what it was.
I swear he got tackled.
No, I think he got tackled because I think it was
he
against.
got tackled.
It was against
I
the
was watching
Giants.
it. It was against the Giants. I was watching the game.
I'm looking at it right now. Dak Prescott.
He definitely got tackled. I remember that shit.
Okay, Dak Prescott.
I'll send you this shit right now.
He should have slid.
Yeah, he got tackled. And someone landed on the back of his... Oh, my God. I'm finna send it to you right now. I was watching this motherfucker live in Vegas. David. There you go. Yeah, that shit's nasty, yo. I hate seeing shit like that, man.
But you would do it to someone if the Super Bowl was on the line.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's like saying, like, as a boxer, like, somebody's ribs is bruised up. You know what?
You know what? I'm gonna just aim for his face.
No, that's not quite the same, because you don't need to literally knock someone out to win football. Like, hold on, it's a little bit different. Like, combat sport with the sole purpose of winning is to literally hurt the other person.
If you know you have one of the greatest quarterbacks that you are playing against in the Super Bowl,
and then so what does that say about you knowing that's how low you had to stoop? You know what I'm saying? Like
that's not stooping low. That's just giving yourself the advantage. If he's coming onto the field,
trying to take someone out versus just playing the game
coming
straight
onto
up
the field
is
injured, anyone that is injured,
or
right,
let's
but
put it like
you're
this.
always gonna go after that weak
you
spot.
you couldn't handle him all game.
Say he had like a bruised rib or something like that. Does that mean, oh, I feel bad for the guy, so I'm not gonna hit him up top? I'm just gonna shoelace tackle him.
No. The point is you play the game hard, but you don't like. First of all, like you don't. I don't know. You let go of the ankle when you roll over trying to get up. You there are things you can do. Like, I can't speak to football, but in rugby, like, with the ref wasn't looking, people punch each other in the face, step on each other, hit each other. Like, there's a lot.
And if you saw a motherfucker with a black eye already, you not gonna hit that motherfucker in the eye again after the ref's not looking?
You gotta think. You're playing against this person. You hit them as hard as you can. You don't give a fuck that it's this. You don't give a fuck that it's Patty Mahomes.
But like the thing is, my point, if I could finish, was that punches and those steps and shit like that weren't going to take someone out the game forever. It was just being brutal. But like to actually try to end someone's career on purpose by breaking their ankle when easily you could. Just seems a little dirty.
Who said ending his career by just tackling him on the injured leg?
No, I didn't say that. I said you saying that you would purposely try to injure someone in the Super Bowl.
Yes, I am going to re-injure that ankle.
That's like
that's not ending his career. That's just making him feel that
re-injuring it can be a legal hit to where like you just apply more pressure.
Right, but that's not what we're talking about. You're talking about actively trying to purposely
injure the ankle that's injured. Yes. I am legally going to tackle
and so that's my point. Is that like that you don't?
But he's not going out of his way. Like he's not. Oh, after the play is done, I'm gonna step on his shit.
You're
like what he's saying is he's saying if I have a hit on him, I'm going at that.
I am going.
For the course. Okay, of course I agree with that. I thought you were talking about literally trying to break his ankle at any cost. Like literally the after the play shit.
Oh no.
Okay, sorry. That's what I thought you were talking about. I was like, so you would like chop block someone on purpose, knowing he was going to end their career?
No. I said if it cost me a penalty of maybe being a second too late to land on him and his leg, I would do that.
Oh yeah, no, I would do that too. That makes sense.
No, I solely believe in defensive players hitting the quarterback as he's going out of bounds. Like, let that message be known. Hit that motherfucker and take that 15 yards.
Facts. I'm telling you, bro. He running out of bounds, bro. Hey.
Man, this nigga does scram. Like Lamar, this nigga does scram, but the last 3 plays, he come my way. I don't care if it's after the whistle.
Fuck this 15-yard penalty. They can't kick me out after one penalty anyway. I'm slapping his ass. Yeah, man.
Prison style?
Yeah, people.
I'm just saying, if I catch him on the sideline and he, thinking it's sweet, about to just step out, I'm hitting him.
Boom. Nigga.
Yeah, but then that's how you get other dudes coming after you, trying to hit you. Like all the time when you're not looking, trying to get those cheap ass blocks and shit, like trying to knock you the fuck out. But that's the game.
I bet the next time that he go to that sideline, he hurry his ass up out of bounds, not try to get the extra little 3 yards that the QBs be doing.
That's fact.
I
Trying to
bet
stick
you
the
take
ball
his
up,
ass.
tiptoe the sideline and shit, arms out. Nah, you gonna get your ass the fuck out of bounds, buddy.
See, that's the one. That's the one problem with football that, like, in terms of like brutalist sports out there, like it stops after every play. Now that is cardiovascularly exhausting, but like at least they stop. Like like there are other sports where like you get hit and then you just have to keep going. So, I mean, it's not. I don't know. You shouldn't be that scared to be hit or be injured in football. I feel like because it's going to stop eventually. Like. Like, I only played football in high school, but, like, I played one role, and that was to catch fucking posts over the center because I didn't care about being hit. And that was it. I wasn't good at juking or I could just catch a ball and get hit. That was my job. And, like, I don't know. This is a game.
Nah. I ain't the guy to go over the middle. Linebackers ain't finna be sitting on me.
Oh, yeah.
Finna help me. Listen. I'm going back to that huddle when that QB got to see me.
You said, hey, man, what the fuck you throwing that ball to, nigga?
Literally, like, I would play wide receiver, but when they would put me at the tight end position I play, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was going to get blindsided by a fucking monster, and that's the way it was.
We're going to talk about this off stream. We're going to end this because I don't want this motherfucker to be too long on the tubes. Yeah, we're going to catch y'all either Friday or next Monday. Probably not this Friday. I don't know. It depends on what everybody doing.
I think I'm going to be gone.
Fucking bitches get money. What?
But appreciate y'all sliding in, man. 15 people that was watching, man. Appreciate y'all sliding in, all the comments and everything. Sorry I couldn't get to everything, but next time when I got another person that always reads the comments and stuff like that, we'll be able to get a little more interaction with y'all next week or this Friday.